students. Hope you are all doing well. Today we are going to start with the online classes of subject agriculture, and myself Payal Gogia, PGT Agriculture from Government Senior Secondary School Portmore is going to take your class. So as you all know that in class 12th, the first unit is advanced crop production, and in that we are going to start with the first chapter, that is food production, including horticulture crops and its importance in economy and nutritional security. So students, as I have already studied in class 11th, that horticulture is a branch of agriculture. So in this chapter we are mainly dealing with this topic, horticulture. So let us start first. What is horticulture? So horticulture is a branch of agriculture which deals with fruit crops, vegetable crops, ornamental plants, commercial flowers, medicinal crops, aromatic crops, spices, plantation crops, individual tree, climbers, and their post-harvest management and processing. Unlike in agriculture, we only deal with the crop plants, but here in horticulture, we deal with all fruit, flowers, vegetables and spices. So I think that must be clear. So now let us go to the next topic, that is the importance of horticulture crops. Horticulture crops, they play a very important role. So the first role of horticulture crop is per unit area yield is high. So in agriculture, when you go for the cultivation of paddy, it gives only 30 tons per hectare. But when we cultivate horticulture fruit crops like banana, it gives 300 tons per hectare. So automatically, when the yield is high, when the production is high, the farmer is going to earn more. The second importance of horticulture crop is high employment generation per unit area. So when you go for the cultivation of agriculture crops, it only gives 143 employment days for a cropping season. But when we grow horticulture crops, it gives 840 days of employment to the person. So automatically when a person is getting more employment, their income will be more and the standard of living of the farmers will increase. The third importance of horticulture crop is high employment generation per unit area, that we have already explained. The next one is best utilization of wasteland. So in wasteland we cannot go for the cultivation of crop plants, but in the wasteland we can always go for the cultivation of fruit crops, which will ultimately give us more production, and the wastelands can be utilized which remain unused for certain reasons. Raw materials for industries. So many industries, they obtain their raw materials from horticulture crops. Like for example, we have jam industry, jelly industry, tomato ketchup industry, then candy industry. All these industries, they get their raw materials from horticulture crop. Even certain cosmetic industries, they get their raw material from horticulture crops. The use of undulating land, I think all of you know what is the meaning of undulating land. Undulating land means the land which is not level, which is uneven. So in that uneven land, we cannot go for the cultivation of crop plants. But in those undulating lands, we can easily follow the cultivation of fruit crops. The last and the important point is religious importance or aesthetic value. So as you all know that our gods and goddesses are associated with the important horticulture trees, as our Lord Shiva is associated with Bael tree. Coconut, a very important tree which is found in our Andaman Islands, and that is also known as Kalpavriksha. And the goddess Lakshmi is associated with lotus. Even Lord Buddha, he is associated with peepal tree. So that shows the religious importance of our horticulture crops. So coming to the next topic, we are going to deal with certain elements which are essential in our diet, that is the nutritive value which we get from fruit crops and vegetable crops or horticulture crops. The first one is carbohydrates. I think all of you know what are carbohydrates. So they are the chief source of energy in human diet, and carbohydrates are basically divided into three categories: monosaccharides, disaccharides and polysaccharides. So monosaccharides, you have examples like glucose, fructose, mannose. Disaccharides, sucrose, lactose and maltose, and under polysaccharides we have starch. So starting from carbohydrate, their important sources of fruits are apricot, raisins, date, and the vegetable source from which we get carbohydrates are cassava, sweet potato and potato. Next, proteins. You all know that proteins are very important for our body build-up. So they are also known as the building blocks. So proteins are extremely complex nitrogen containing organic compound. 1 gram of protein liberates 4 calories of energy. I think all of you should know this. 1 gram protein liberates 4 calories of energy, and daily requirement of protein is 60 to 70 gram. And the fruits from which we get proteins are cashew nut, almond, and from vegetables like pea and cowpea we get protein. The next important element which is required for our growth and development is fat. You know, fat is stored in the body in the form of adipose tissue. So fat is a stored energy in our body. 1 gram of fat, it liberates 9 calories of energy. I already told you, protein liberates 4 calories of energy and fat liberates 9 calories of energy. So important fruit sources from which we get fat is walnut and almond, and vegetable source potato and Bengal gram. Moving to next important element is vitamins. So vitamins are classified into two major groups, water soluble and fat soluble. So water soluble vitamins are vitamin B complex and vitamin C, and fat soluble vitamins are vitamin A, D and K. So let us start with vitamin A first, which is a fat soluble vitamin. So daily requirement of vitamin A is 1.2 milligram per day, and there are many deficiency symptoms which occur when we lack vitamin A in our diet. The very important deficiency of vitamin A is night blindness and xerophthalmia for children, keratinization of epithelial cells of eyes. So fruit sources of vitamin A are yellow colored fruits generally like mango and papaya, and vegetable sources are bathua leaves and beet leaves. So next vitamin is vitamin. So the next vitamin which we are going to start is vitamin B1, that is also known as by the word thiamine. So the daily requirement of that vitamin is 1.2 mg per day, and the deficiency diseases are beriberi. You can feel your muscles growing weak, and neuritis, another important deficiency that you will start losing your weight. The fruit sources from which we get vitamin B is cashew nut and walnut. Vegetable sources are palak that is green leafy vegetables, and pea. The next vitamin which we are going to study is vitamin B2, riboflavin. Daily requirement is 1.7 milligrams per day. So deficiency symptoms of vitamin B2 is dry scaly skin, crack in the corner of mouth, and even your lips will start cracking in extreme cases. So the fruit sources from which you get vitamin B2 is papaya and pineapple, and vegetable sources palak, chilies, fenugreek leaves, that is methi leaves, which you are getting in market right now. Next is vitamin B3, nicotinic acid. Daily requirement 19 mg per day, that is 19 milligrams per day. Deficiency symptoms of vitamin B3 is pellagra, nervous breakdown, stomach and intestinal disorders. The fruit from which we get vitamin B3 is lychee, and the vegetable is again palak and amaranthus leaves. Vitamin B6, pyridoxine, requirement per day is 1.3 mg. Deficiency symptom, lack of energy, disease in brain function, high levels of homocysteine. So the excellent sources from which we get vitamin B6, summer squash, bell peppers, turnip greens, mushrooms and spinach. Vitamin B12, cyanocobalamin, daily requirement 2.4 micrograms per day. Deficiency symptom is pernicious anemia. You all know that anemia, that is only reduction in RBCs. Autoimmune disorders are also caused by the deficiency of vitamin B12. So vitamin B12 is provided by animal food. It is not found in vegetables and fruits. Vitamin C, ascorbic acid, that is mainly found in citrus fruits. So the daily requirement is 70 milligram per day. Deficiency causes scurvy. So 90% vitamin C is obtained from fruits and vegetables. Fruit source, cherry, amla, guava. Vegetable source, coriander leaves and drumstick leaves. Now coming to minerals, the very important mineral which is required by human body is calcium. So daily requirement is 500 to 600 milligram per day, and the source is fruit source is lychee and karonda. Vegetable source agathi and curry leaves. Next, iodine. You all know that deficiency of iodine leads to goiter. You must have seen the swollen neck portion. So that is very important. Daily requirement is 500 to 600 milligrams per day. So I already told you deficiency leads to goiter, and you can consume this iodine through taking onion, garlic, beet, agati leaves, even iodized salt. That is also an important source of iodine. Vitamin D, cholecalciferol deficiency symptoms. You all know that vitamin D leads to deformation of bones. So it causes rickets and pigeon chest in children, osteomalacia in adults. So vitamin C, we cannot take it, like it is only synthesized in our body with the help of sunlight. So vitamin E, tocopherol, daily requirement 5 milligrams per day. It is an anti-sterility vitamin. For deficiency symptoms, it causes degeneration of kidneys and necrosis of liver. Necrosis means the death of tissues of liver. So sweet corn is a rich source of vitamin E. Even vitamin E is a very important vitamin for your skin. So if you want your skin to be very flawless, you should take more of vitamin E. The next vitamin is vitamin K, phylloquinone, anti-hemorrhagic vitamin. Daily requirement is very less, 0.015 mg per day, and deficiency symptom is delayed and faulty coagulation of blood. Potassium, we can see potassium in spinach and amaranthus leaves. So if you want, your body should not, if you want that, you should not have deficiency of potassium, so you should have more of spinach and amaranthus leaves. Again, sodium, that its requirement is 4,000 to 6,000 milligram per day. So you can take the sodium through green onion, Chinese cabbage, etc. Folic acid is very important for women and as well as men, but women require more of iron. So its deficiency causes anemia, nervous breakdown and impaired growth. You know that iron is required for the formation of blood. So if you don't have iron, your blood will automatically come down. So for the deficiency, if you are having deficiency of iron, you should consume more of green leafy vegetables. Almost for all the vitamins and minerals, green leafy vegetables are must. So you should all, students, you should all take it in a very serious note that if you want to have a balanced diet, green vegetables should always be a part of your diet. Iron, the requirement is 20 milligram per day. And the fruits from which we get iron is dry karonda and dates. You know that dates which you eat dry. Vegetable source, again I told you green leafy vegetables, amaranthus leaves. Phosphorus, very important for the formation of bones and teeth in human. So daily requirement is 20 milligram per day. Fruit sources are almond, cashew nut and walnut. Vegetable sources are amaranthus leaves and garlic. So that is like important vitamins. We have already studied what are carbohydrates, what are proteins, what are fats, what are vitamins and minerals. We have studied how much of them are required in the body and what are the important sources of those vitamins. And even I already dealt with what are the important deficiency symptoms and how to correct it. So that is now the last topic of this chapter is fibers. Do you know all what is fiber? Fiber are the things which are required in our body for a digestion of food. It increases the bulk of the food. So fibers are only consumed when we eat. We get fibers only when we consume fruits and vegetables. So fiber is comprised of components of plant material that are resistant to human digestive enzyme. Very important, fibers are resistant to our digestive enzymes. They play a very important role in digestion, increasing the bulk of what we eat, absorbing toxins and cleaning the colon of mucus and undigested food particles. So fiber acts to increase the thickness of the stomach contents, which gives a feeling of fullness and slows down the emptying of stomach. So fibers are of two kinds. There are two kinds of fibers, soluble fibers and insoluble fibers. Right? So if we want more of fibers, we should consume more of fruits and vegetables. So if you want like in fruits, if you take 100 grams of fig, it will give you 7 grams of fiber. So fig is a very important fruit. If you want more fiber in your diet, go for consumption of more of fig. Then followed by fig, we have guava. If you consume 100 grams of guava, it gives you 6.9 grams of fiber. And in vegetables, if you consume potato gives you a lot of fiber. So if you consume 100 grams of potato, it gives you 2.2 grams of fiber. So fibers are again very important part of our diet. So in this chapter, I'll just summarize in a short what all we have studied. We have discussed what is horticulture, followed by we have discussed importance of horticulture, like what are the importance of horticulture crops, followed by different types of like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, their deficiency symptoms, their requirement in the body, and what are all the things you need to consume if you maintain a balanced diet in your body. Lastly, we discussed about fibers. Fibers, they increase the bulk of the diet, very important for the digestive part of the body. Two kinds of fibers, soluble and insoluble, and the most important, the maximum amount of fiber you get when you consume fig and guava in fruits and potato in vegetables. So that's all for this chapter, students. Thank you very much.